Sam Feist, thank you so much for talking to us.
Happy to be here.
2024 super election year. Do you think that audiences in Europe and in the States are aware in which kind of environment we are working on concerning disinformation spaces that really overlap? We can detect it now and see it.
So I think that elections and disinformation now go hand in hand. We're used to it. I don't think it's new. I remember even in 2008, when Barack Obama was running for president. There was so much disinformation around Barack Obama. He wasn't born in the United States. He was a Muslim. All of these things about him that weren't true, and yet millions of Americans believed the misinformation. So now, in 2024, there's more of it. There's more social media. There's the ability to move misinformation is easier. What I hope is that more people are aware of it and are cognizant of it because it's everywhere.
You've mentioned cognizance, which is, I think, very important because everyone now is talking about critical thinking, media literacy. But you, as the person who is leading one of the biggest, let's say, news operations in the United States, and you've been here for quite some time, and having this experience, what's different now? What's different in 2024?
So, social media allows the transmission of misinformation everywhere quickly. And then, of course, AI now, where you can have fake information, fake voices, fake videos that, and this part is new or relatively new, and so I worry that a fake video, a fake voice could affect an election before the public is told or realizes it's fake. So this is one of the things in this election cycle in the United States, but I think elsewhere around the world, that we all have to be on guard for and on the lookout for.
We as media, I won't use words traditional media or mainstream media, but we as media were the targets also. A lot of times
Sure.
You were the target as CNN. How do we operate as journalists in this kind of environment when we are, on such a thin ice every day?
So I think we all have to go back to basics. And what I mean by that is, what makes a good journalist is someone who is skeptical of everything they hear and everything they see. And so use our journalism skills and tools to be skeptical. Skeptical of a video, skeptical of a piece of information. Slow down, wait, check, double check before you report it, before you transmit it, before you send it around. And I think that will serve everybody well. Slowing down, I think, could help. It's not perfect, but it helps.
But with all of this, and politics have changed.
Right.
You've experienced something which, from our side of the ocean, we didn't thought it would happen. It was called 6th of January. What changed for you? How did you feel when these things was happening here?
Well, first of all, we'd never seen anything like that in this country. So it was horrifying to watch it happening live. I was here in the control room watching all of the people at the Capitol. And one of the frustrating pieces is that it goes to what we were just talking about. Many of the people stormed the Capitol because of misinformation, because they had been misinformed by their leaders on their social media, and so they thought they were acting as patriots. They thought they were doing the right thing for their country, but they were acting on bad information, which is why misinformation is such an important issue, which is why we as journalists, we in the media, have to do everything we can to identify it, remove it, and help people understand what the truth is.
How journalism changed with this kind of politics?
Well, we need to slow down. We need to be even more careful. We need to use technology to review videos, to review audio, to make sure that what we hear and what we see is real, because we're the first line of defense before the public sees this video and sees this audio. So we need to use technology to review it, and we need to check, and we need to use our journalism skills and tools to go back to the source to make sure that what we see with our eyes and hear with our ears is actually real. It's really important, and this is may be the story of 2024 if we're not careful.
Two short questions for the end. Coming back or being here in 2024, you already mentioned some parts of it, but what do you see as biggest threats, especially in terms of misinformation in this election cycle?
Two things. First, many Americans, and this is not just unique to the United States, now live in what I call an echo chamber, where they hear and see news that reflects their own views. So Republicans hear and see ideas from the right, and here in the United States, Democrats hear and see ideas from the left, and they're frequently not exposed to perspectives from the other side. And that's terrible in a democracy, because you need to hear, you have to have a conversation between the two sides. You need to hear both sides. That's what's really important here at CNN, is that we have Democrats on television and we have Republicans on television, and they have conversations. But many Americans and many people outside the United States are only hearing their own views reflected back, and it gives them a false sense of what the other side is. It also leads to demonizing the other side, because they only hear extreme information about the other side. So I think that's a very large problem. And second, this deep fake notion, this idea of fake video and fake audio that will go around the world on social media and may even make it from social media onto a news program that's not careful. That could be disastrous if people believe that here in this country, that if there's a video of Donald Trump saying something that he didn't say, or Joe Biden saying something that he didn't say, that's a big problem. So we have to be on guard for that.
The word that everyone is mentioning, thousands of books have been written like in the last couple of days, is mistrust. In societies, between us, you've mentioned these divisions and polarities. What's your personal opinion on that, being here in the saddle for such a long time?
So we as journalists need to, the expression I use is show our work. If we state a fact, we need to explain to our audience why we know this to be true. Where did we get that from? Where did we find out our information? Because we know that the public is more distrusting of media now than they have been, certainly in my career, in media. So we need to accept that, and we need to prove to the public, prove to our viewers, to our readers, that not only what we're showing them is true, but here's how we know it's true, so that they will believe us. It's more important than ever. We need truth in media, truth in politics. We all have to work off of the same set of facts. And I hope that the public will begin to identify for themselves sources of news and information that they trust, and will realize when other sources of information turn out to be false or incorrect, they'll stop trusting those sources. That's my hope. Perhaps I'm just optimistic.
Sam Feist, thank you so much for this conversation.
Sure thing.